y'all, it's Kobe R. Rice, and I'm back again for another weekly creative update. So welcome back to the epic fantastical journey of a Black female sci-fi writer. And this is episode number, drum roll please, because I don't remember. What episode number is this? Number 73. Let me just again get it all the way together. And yes, today we're going to be talking about honing and following and focusing your creative instinct, only because I'm learning a really big lesson about deep focus lately. And I will get into what that lesson is, obviously, in the later/latter half of the podcast. But I am learning a lot about the ways in which deep focus are really, really awesome and amazing, but that at the same time, we have to sort of balance that out with following our creative instincts as well, which sometimes leads us occasionally and maybe temporarily away from deep focus. So I'll get into all of that when it's time. But in any case, welcome back. I am just going to start this podcast off today with big announcement. As you guys know, as I've been saying for weeks, the 2054 Sci-Fi Anthology came out this past Thursday. And not only is it just kicking ass on Amazon, and not only do we have an amazing 45 reviews to sort of kick off this launch that total about 4.7 out of 5 stars, which is A-OK excellent. Not only all of that, but we also are going on sale and on special this week by dropping our $6.99 price point all the way down to 99 cents per copy. So if you were waiting for a really sweet deal on the 2054 Anthology, getting 4 amazing sci-fi novellas for the price of literally, I don't even know if coffee costs $1 anymore. Maybe at one of those little carts in New York City, which I miss. But I don't know what you can get for $1 anymore. Let's say for the cost of anything you can get in the dollar store. If you want those 4 novellas for 99 cents, go over to Amazon.com right now, and I'll put the link below so you guys can, just kind of go right there and get your copy, okay? The reviews right now are mind-blowing. I knew that we all put our all into this box set and that we've just been kind of killing it, right, on the quality of the stories, of the copy editing, of the bigness and the sort of the high concept level of all of the ideas that we put into this box set. We really worked hard on all of those things. But even so, I personally wasn't expecting the kind of response that we've gotten back from our readers. And speaking of our amazing, incredible readers, I just want to thank one reader in particular. I hope that you're watching or listening, Judy, who not only read through the entire novella box set, but also, because unfortunately she's hospitalized right now, she even went to the lengths to dictate her review to her husband, who then posted it on Amazon, which is an entirely insane, unexpected, amazing, incredible level of commitment and just awesomeness. And I just wanted to personally thank you, Judy, so much for being such an amazing reader. It's honestly readers like yourself and like your husband who make writing worthwhile, honestly. And it's literally the nicest thing anyone has done for me in years. So I just wanted to give you guys a really heartfelt thank you. And I will not only shout you out on this podcast, but also on the newsletter that's coming up this week to my 11,500 plus readers. So you guys are going to get your day in the sun. And I do wish you a very speedy recovery, Judy. But thank you so much as well for just being awesome and amazing. Thank you so much. And I just want to let you guys know, this is the kind of response that 2054 is garnering from our readers. And I'm just humbled and blown away and just amazed, honestly. I don't know what else to say about it. The readers have spoken, and so I hope that you'll become one of our readers and really enjoy the box set yourself. And as I mentioned before, the contribution that I made to the box set was, or slash is, called The Camille. It's the very last story in the box set, so check it out. And whether you're fans of my work in particular, or you're looking for different tastes of different kind of sci-fi from different people, everybody will get what they're looking for. So jump into that, click the link below and buy. And again, Judy, thank you so much for being incredible. Mwah. Okay, so I'm gonna move forward. And so in addition to that major win last week, finally having published another intellectual property after however many years of just working on stuff, I also spent a lot of time last week just marketing 2054. I'm going to be doing more of that this week, for those of you who are curious as to like what I'm doing and what I'm up to creatively. The big thing, honestly, that I worked on last week again is was and is, because I'm still working on it, the Bohemian Badass brand, which is looking again even better and better and better each day. I am pretty much done with the home page, but now I have to create all of the other linked pages and the about pages and the contact pages, and then of course add all of the content to the blog. So that is still sort of ongoing, but I am really happy and really proud of where the Bohemian Badass is right now in its progress. I'm really excited about our offerings come August 1st. And on top of that, I was talking to a colleague of mine, actually the same colleague I'm writing our Pentagon TV series with. And she came up with an amazing idea, which I'm not going to talk about here on the blog, because personally, I don't want anybody out there to take that idea. And I think it's something that she's going to be the head of. But we might also be collaborating on a very special blog content, sci-fi, fantasy, ongoing project that if we decide to go forward together, I'll be announcing it on this particular podcast in the coming weeks. If not, then what I will do is that if she's going to go forward with this project by herself or on her own, I will give her the platform for the day, or at least air what she's doing with her permission, so that you guys can go and check it out. So just stay tuned for that. Some exciting things coming at The Bohemian Badass. Whether or not we collaborate together, things are still going to be exciting and moving forward. And so that's pretty much what I was doing. At this point in time, I have over 600 different content ideas, including blog posts and courses that I want to put together for you guys. Books, physical products, master classes, and online workshops. I will also, and this is actually pretty huge for me, because up until recently I had promised myself I wouldn't do this, but at some point after the Bohemian Badass is running for the first few months, I will be opening up spots for coaching, consultation, group coaching, and one-on-one help. If you need help, for example, developing manuscripts, if you need help developing just your brand or your franchise or an intellectual property, obviously, I need to get all the contracts in place, for example, non-disclosure agreements that I have to sign, for you, so that you guys are protected. And I'll also be doing group coaches, group classes, group coaching, group classes and things like that. Just a lot of fun stuff. Online boot camps where we'll all together, and myself included, get together and do things like write a novel, write a trilogy. And the group coaching will probably come a lot earlier than all the other services. The boot camps, the summer camps, that will come earlier than those other services, because a group coaching sort of let's get together and push our ways toward a single goal. That's a lot easier and more direct to organize in the first few months of an open business. So I'm thinking about having the first group boot camp be during NaNoWriMo, actually, where we will have a couple of months of build up, where I would probably get a group of 10 people together, honestly, to lay down the foundations of a particular novel or novel series that we want to write during November. So that would probably start up sometime during September, like September 1st. We would start the preparation process for NaNoWriMo. And then during the month of NaNoWriMo, all of us together, myself included, would be meeting online either daily or weekly to, just basically egg each other on, support each other, have writing sessions together. I'm also considering hosting a daily writing session in the morning, or at some other point during the day where I know there's going to be like zero distractions, and just doing that every single day of November until we all make it to the finish line where we have a 50,000 word novel. So I'm thinking about doing events such as that and way, way more. So stay tuned. I am just so excited about where the Bohemian Badass will be going this semester, and just the entire rebranding and rebuilding of the company and the brand has really helped me to reposition not only the brand itself, but just myself, period, as a writer, as a creator, as an entrepreneur. And I'm glad that I did not open the Bohemian Badass prematurely in 2015 like I had wanted to. And even though it has taken quite a while for the brand itself to gain momentum and to, become what it needs to be, I'm glad that I took my time and all that time to just start, putting things together, and also learning about what I need to do as a blogger and infopreneur to make the company successful. So I'm just, in conclusion, I'm really happy with where that's going. Let's see. Creative Uni, pretty much the Publish Your Thing course, which is helping me to rebrand the Bohemian Badass. The bonus courses that I'm taking at Publish Your Thing right now are incredible, and those are the courses that actually encouraged me to add coaching and consultation and service-based services to the Bohemian Badass brand. And so the particular lessons I'm sitting right now include the Prospect to Full Client course. It's like a 2-hour training. It's amazing. I love it. And the great thing about Regina is that she provides such amazing pathways and such detailed but simple step-by-step approaches to opening your business that by the time you're done listening to the first 10 minutes of her talking, you're asking yourself, why am I not doing this? This sounds manageable and it sounds worthwhile. Whereas prior to that, taking on clients, doing consultations and doing group coaching was something I had been previously unattracted to for a variety of reasons, which I won't get into on the podcast. But it wasn't as attractive of an option for me before. But then going through Regina's courses and classes and seeing how she manages the process, and the fact that she makes the process so accessible to everyone and so easy to everyone is amazing and convincing in and of itself. So she's made a believer out of me. I will try out that path as an add-on to all the other things the Bohemian Badass is bringing. And I'm excited about it. So thank you, Regina. I'm super excited about that. And I'm also sitting 5 to 6 other bonus courses where she is helping us to develop our service-based services, where we're basically making an income and building a brand by providing services, not just coaching, but other services that we can basically turn into, shall we say, like profit and success just off the bat. And that's for the reason why she's teaching us that in her course and asking us to start with that and lead with that is for a variety of reasons. But that, again, is another part of the Bohemian Badass brand that will be expanded. So there's the services aspect, which can include coaching, but doesn't necessarily include coaching for me. And then there's the coaching, consultation, clientele aspect. And then there is the publishing aspect, where you guys will get to basically read the blogs, watch the vlogs, do like free online courses and workshops, get some free books, buy other books, get some free courses, buy other courses, etc., etc. So I'm just really excited with this sort of three-prong approach that I'm taking to the Bohemian Badass. And it's all thanks to Regina and her amazing Publish Your Thing course. Highly recommended. I hope that she's actually like offering affiliate opportunities for her course, because I'm a total believer and I would completely stand and go out and sell the Publish Your Thing course for her on her behalf, because I am such a believer in what she is doing with that course that I would completely just put my entire reputation on it. That's how much I believe in it. So anyway, that's besides the point. Moving on, okay. Empire Building finally applied for local incorporation in Tucson, Arizona, for Rebel Ragdoll Press LLC and the Bohemian Badass LLC, which is great. I was really hesitating for a while, as to whether or not I would incorporate officially, not because it's not a good idea, it's an excellent idea, but knowing that I am going to be transitioning soon within the year back home to New York City, and because of some other, just local life things that are going on, I wasn't exactly sure if incorporating right now would be the best thing to do, as opposed to incorporating back in New York City. But it just turns out that there are a lot of things that I can't do just legally and business-wise without an LLC and without an EIN number. And that actually that process of sort of thinking through when to incorporate an LLC has really helped me to develop even more blog posts and content for business and for artistic entrepreneurs and creative entrepreneurs who are trying to figure out how to manage their own businesses and when to incorporate. So I will turn that into a piece of content, into some blog content or into vlog content for you guys in the future, just leading you through my own thought process regarding when to incorporate LLC. Again, just FYI, just to let you guys know, this is not legal advice, business advice, or financial advice. So please don't take myself as like an official professional in any of those fields. This is just me reporting on my experiences and doing so for educational purposes. So had to get that legal jargon out the way, because we're in a very litigious country and I'm not even trying to play that right now. So, okay. So into the creative stuff, actual creating creative stuff. This past week, again, was not a good week for writing for Hollow Point. Just full disclosure. It was a good week, however, for world building, plotting, and writing for the Asylum trilogy. The Asylum series, which is now a dual trilogy series. Like literally the first half of the series is one trilogy and the second half is a second trilogy, but they're all connected. Same person, same world. Anyway, I have some really weird ways of completely revamping or restructuring the way series are supposed to go and the way that brands and franchises are supposed to go. So just bear with me. But for me, that's sort of a part of just like who I am, finding traditional ways of doing things and then readapting and repurposing those things for my own uses and my own benefit, which I will then be teaching at the Bohemian Badass. So stay tuned for that. But to get back to the point, I did a lot of plotting for the series, and I did world building, and then I wrote, because there was just a scene and a piece of dialogue in my head that I just needed to get out. And this is going to lead us in just a minute to the main, I guess, lesson learned from this past week, right? Where I really am trying to have deep focus as much as humanly possible and focus on finishing Hollow Point, because I am committed to that. That is something that I want to do. That's something I have promised you guys and promised myself and promised my editors and promised the world that I would get done this year come hell or high water. At the same time, the Asylum series plotting and scene and things like that were literally jumping out of my mind and practically jumping out of my mouth, and I just had to write it down. So I needed to kind of step away for a minute from Hollow Point just to catch those little swimming fishes, oh my gosh, fishies is what I meant to say, fishies and fish out in the creative lake of my mind. I needed to just go and net those in for a second before I went back to my deep fishing. And so we'll get into the lessons I learned from just having to make those decisions and looking at the benefits of deep focus versus the benefits of, I don't want to call it thin focus, but wide focus. And so, yeah, we'll talk about that in just a minute. But before we do, I just wanted to give you guys an update on the TV writing project, because that is something that I am trying my best as well to stay committed to over the summer, especially because I have a writing partner, and she and I are working really well together, and things are working out great. Basically, last Friday we had our first meeting in 2 weeks. We weren't able to meet for the past 2 weeks for a variety of reasons, but we did come together and sort of restructure the agenda for the rest of our TV writing summer together. And it actually turns out that we are quite near the point where we're going to start working on the actual Pendragon series, which is pretty exciting, I think. And so the first 4 to 5 weeks, we ended up doing, for week number 1, a getting started in TV sort of seminar, right? And this is an introduction, even though I know at this point more about television writing and just the television business and industry than my partner does. She has a very deep connection, almost like a psychic connection with story, honestly, and with character and with analysis and with the dramaturgical aspects of being a writer. It's actually pretty incredible. Like, I honestly think she's a better story analyst than I am. But in any case, either way, despite our varying skill sets, we started off with the intro to television week. Then we went into conflict, concept, and theme, and something else. And then like the log line, the hook, the log line, the concept, the theme, just the core aspect of putting together one's ideas, figuring out what you want to write about and why, and just going through the process of honing that concept. So we learned about that. Then we did 2 weeks of character study, and that the character study wasn't as in-depth as I would have liked it to be, because we weren't able to meet together to discuss. But what we did discuss and talk about was very, very fruitful and very, very helpful. And I also found that both of Will Rabkin's books, Writing the Pilot and Writing the Pilot, Creating the Series, were incredibly insightful with regard to developing really meaningful, impactful characters, especially developing these characters around theme and thematic questions and narrative questions. So we definitely talked about that, and that was really helpful. And that was the past 2 weeks. So we've been doing this for about a month. So in the past month, we were able to do the intro, concept, hook, log line, idea, and then main characters as well as supporting characters. And so I believe the next week to next 2 weeks is going to focus on developing mystery, intrigue, looking at plot loops, twists, turns, and creating the addictive portion of the TV series. So that's going to be probably, it's now scheduled for only 1 week, but personally I think it should probably be scheduled for 2 weeks, because we have a couple of scripts to study along those lines. And then after that is over, we are then going to jump into the development of the actual TV series and Bible itself, which is going to be exciting. So we're going to do research on what's out there already. And you guys know how I feel about the Pendragon series right now. That it's an exciting and great idea, but then there's a lot out there that has been done. And so I need something to come out of our series that is totally fire, and that's going to set the entire industry on fire. And that's hard to come by. So by doing our research and figuring out precisely what has been done and what hasn't, and what we can do to, elevate that, that's going to be an important part of the process. But we're also going to develop our characters, our supporting characters, the world, the setting, the set pieces, the other parts of the franchise, decide on our storytelling style, on our dialogue style, etc., etc., etc. And then, so that might take the month of July. And then I'm pretty sure in August, that's when we'll be writing the actual pilot and beating out the scenes and doing the structure, and also doing some readings on the ways in which a 5-act structure needs to go. Although we've also come across a lot of that material already. So that's pretty much how the rest of the summer is going to shake out for us. I will keep you guys posted on our progress. But the great thing from this entire process is well, actually, there are a lot of great things that came out of this process. One, I finally was able to take my free time in the summer and, instead of doing all these crazy things, focus on one particular thing and develop an expertise in that area. And so I feel as though by the end of the summer, I'm not going to be a J.J. Abrams or Shonda Rhimes, like, let's keep it really real, but I will be very well versed in a lot of different techniques and templates and just methods of creating a TV series, because we're both learning from so many different places. We're learning from Will Radkin's books. We're learning from Pamela Douglas's Writing the TV Drama. We're learning from Jen Grisanti's TV Writing Toolkit, which is really incredible. We're learning from Shonda Rhimes' Masterclass in TV Writing at masterclass.com. And then we're also learning from Screenwriting U's Creating Binge-Worthy TV Series. We're pulling from a bunch of different resources and basically synthesizing all of those resources together in order to bring our TV writing knowledge to its zenith as much as we possibly can. And I think the final resource I was talking to you guys about just now was the Creating Binge-Worthy TV course, Module 1, available at screenwritingu.com. And then there's also a Module 2 available, which basically teaches you how to take all of the stuff you learned in Module 1 and put it together into a really gorgeous, beautiful TV Bible, which is great. So because I went through all of the materials and pretty much pulled a little from here, pulled a little from there, like just in terms of knowledge, because certain people were focusing on certain things while others focus on other things. So I'm pulling all the things together in this particular course that I've built for myself and my colleague, so that we can just go through it and learn all the things all at once. Which has been really, really incredible. And I actually just completely finished Will Radkin's Creating the TV Series version of Writing the Pilot. It's just as amazing as Writing the Pilot, the first version, except this one is more up to date and it goes more in depth with regard to what to expect in today's market. And he does add on to a lot of the stuff he was saying in the first book, but then he also goes back and he corrects some other things that he had said in the first book that he didn't feel completely encapsulated what's going on in today's industry. And the thing that I love about Radkin is that he's a no BS type of dude. He's not here to tell you that if you follow his formula, or even the formula I'm putting together with all these different courses, that at the end of it, you'll have like the most epic Bible ever and the most epic TV series ever. And you'll be able to go into studios and just have people, in bidding wars over your stuff. He does not sell you a whole bunch of rainbows, and he doesn't blow sunshine up your behind or anything like that. He gives you a hard dose of reality about what the chances are of you as an unknown writer, as a burgeoning, beginning baby writer, what the chances are of someone like you breaking into the industry. And those are kind of slim to none. But for me personally, despite that hard truth, I was able to take that, love it, hold on to it, absorb all of his brilliance and his experience, because he is somebody who's known in the industry. He is someone who gets, recruited to develop TV series, even if they're not bought or produced, and take all of his perspective and combine it and turn it into something that I can use for independent television production. And that's why I developed and am developing The Bohemian Badass, because as much as Hollywood is awesome and great and does put out some really great content, maybe not in terms of feature films, although I love superhero films, but let's face it, we haven't really taken many risks in the feature film part of the industry in 15 years, honestly, maybe even 20. But as high quality as all of their movies are and their TV shows are, I want to do something different, more independent, and something that I own. And I want to teach people how to create TV series from scratch, develop, entire series, entire Bibles, pilot scripts, put together writing teams. If you want to develop the rest of your season scripts or just develop your own scripts on your own, I want to be able to take all of the tactics and techniques that we learn at the Hollywood level and bring it down to the independent creator level. Because honestly, that's sort of where we're going right now. Even though Netflix is becoming, and actually at this point is, a pretty big giant in the industry, the niche, like the idea of the niche market, niche audiences is really where it's at right now. Everything is so niched down. People are looking for a specific content that they resonate with and that they really rock with. Like right now, like I really rock with sci-fi, fantasy, horror, especially survival horror, and action. I would rock even harder with all those things if I saw more people of color just flooding into those different kinds of concepts. So, and there's so many different concepts out nowadays that are featuring more diversity that I am starting to lose count. Like I still haven't checked out Sense8 yet. I loved Altered Carbon. I was in love with Altered Carbon. Definitely love all of the Marvel TV properties on Netflix, especially Jessica Jones that features a woman, Luke Cage that features a black man, et cetera, et cetera. Just all these different properties that are coming together and with like high quality and diversity I am interested in. I would rock even harder with those things if they featured black females, black women as the lead characters, as like the lead badasses, or like the lead, dainty princesses. Like that's great too. Like we need more of that as well, that kind of representation. So as just not to diverge, but or to divert, but seeing more niches emerge because people are looking for specific content, to me means that more of you guys should be making your own TV series, whether those are, full 45-minute to 1 hour episodes on YouTube or on Vimeo or on iTunes or Netflix, or whether those are mini web series. I just feel like building up your own audience and giving your audience what it wants is where things are going right now. So that is what I have in mind for Pendragon, for myself and my collaborator. And so because we're working on this together, as I mentioned like almost 5 minutes ago now, there are a lot of benefits. We're not only learning how to develop our skills in this area, but we're also going to be learning how to basically develop, direct, produce, shoot, market, and sell our stuff as well through another course that I just invested in. We're also learning by using the Pendragon project as our beta project. We're also just learning how to streamline a process and a protocol for doing these things, so that if we want to come together and do like a futuristic cyberpunk series next time, we already have a lot of the processes and protocols in place, and we already know what is required in order to produce a really viable, badass TV series product, et cetera, et cetera. At the same time, we're also looking into pitching Pendragon to potential producers, because just because we're doing our independent work, and I love indie, doesn't mean that we shouldn't try to take our stuff out to producers and see what the professionals have to say about it, So there are a lot of different things that we are learning from this process, and a lot of different skills that we're developing from this process. But for me, the coolest thing is that because I have developed an entire course based off of all the things that we have been studying and we've learned, and not only from other people, but our own individual insights, I can now offer a TV development, TV writing course to you guys when I feel as though all the materials are ready. So this will definitely become a course at the Bohemian Badass with all of its proper copyright, all of its proper citations. And as with any course, I will probably require that the students buy their own versions of, say, Will Rabkin's books or Pamela Douglas's books or what have you, just like you would do at a university where you're teaching any sort of course and, your professor assigns you books that are not written by that professor. Same deal here. So look forward to that. I am so excited to share with you guys all of the knowledge that we have gained by going through this process. And I'm just excited to be able to retool this entire process into multiple uses for myself, for my company, for my brand, but also for you guys. So stay tuned for that. Okay, so I got thrown off a little bit by the fact that my computer was acting a fool, and this was a little longer than I wanted it to be. But I just wanted to get into really quickly some of my conclusions with regard to deep focus versus wide focus. And basically, very short and sweetly, I am still, I would say, 80% on my deep focus-ish, right? Because again, deep focus has really, really helped me to drive from one project to another straight through, and finish my project, get it off of my plate, move forward, and also do these things more efficiently, right? So deep focus has really helped me. I'm not abandoning that because I see that it works for me. But because I am literally the artistic and creative equivalent of a beautiful butterfly in a field of endless flowers, I can't just stay on one flower for days and days and days at a time without at least going to see what the other flower has, to offer. So that's sort of what happened this past week when it came to developing the Asylum series. And for a while, for a few days, I actually resisted writing down all these ideas and engaging fully with the Asylum series, even though my brain and my intuition, my heart, and the ether was telling me to engage with it. I resisted. And then I said, you know what? I can't resist this anymore. Let me just sit down for a day and get all of this out. And that was such a huge relief to me. A part of me was afraid that if I had gone down the Asylum rabbit hole, that I would be there for the next 3 months. And that is actually not the case. I went down the rabbit hole for a day, and actually I'm good. I mean, I would love to work on it, but I don't feel like there's all this creative pressure built up inside of my heart and mind that just is about to explode. I took the moment and took the time to relieve the pressure. And I do want to encourage you guys that even though I do believe deep focus is definitely the way to go, at least it is for me, I think it is okay to release the pressure on other projects if necessary. If you really have something that's been boiling and bubbling in your subconscious while you're working on something else, and then that boiling and bubbling thing emerges to the surface of your brain, finally, it's for a reason, and you need to stop what you're doing, pay attention to it, give it its due attention, its due time, get it out there, and then move forward. And I think as I become better at deep focus, I will become more deliberate in that process of releasing certain pressure valves on certain projects. I don't want to get too footloose and fancy free with that right now because I literally am still in the midst of rehabilitating myself from being that butterfly that went to every single flower, but collected no nectar. You know what I'm saying? So I don't want to get back into that mode, but I do want to make sure that I'm collecting all the nectar from my current hollow point flower, but that I can occasionally take a day or two or even a week long break in order to collect nectar from the Hitmen of Happily Ever After series flower or the Asylum series flower, etc. And so I am trying to strike a balance between that 80% deep focus with the 20% wide focus. And I do want to encourage you guys personally to continue examining your work process and the ways in which you are efficient as a writer and a creator. I want to encourage you guys to keep looking at that and keep adjusting as is required. Because in order to become a better worker, you have to find out pretty much how you work, right? And once you figure out what your personal inclinations are and what your work protocol is, it'll be a lot easier to develop a program for yourself and a writing regimen that will make sense for who you are and what your life is allowing you to do. If you're an early morning riser, for example, and you're bright and turned on at like 4 in the morning, 5 in the morning, it doesn't make any sense to leave your writing just sitting there until 5 o'clock in the evening where all your energy is burned out. So people who are aware of themselves and are constantly taking stock, those are the people who say, okay, I'm the most awake and the most full of ideas and I'm the freshest at 4 in the morning. I should probably write from 4 to 6 every single morning. You will get so much more done and so much more accomplished by acknowledging who you are and how you work and basically adjusting your schedule and your plans around that. And so I say the same thing when it comes to deep focus versus wide focus. If you're good at producing projects at a steady clip with wide focus, if you can jump from 5 different flowers and produce 5 different books per year at a steady clip, and that's working for your business and it's working for you, by all means, don't listen to me on anything I have to say about deep focus. You keep doing you. But if you're anything like me, who has like a whole field of like 100 flowers that she can jump from at any point in time, but you're not getting anything done or much nectar collected, you might want to, do some deep focus and stick to one flower. Okay. So that's basically all I have to say today. I don't really know what's going on with my computer. My camera is being a hot mess. So I'm going to actually end this podcast and just pray that, this video will knit well together. But thanks so much for joining me. Again, go grab your 2054 Anthology copy today. The 99-cent price point will only be available until Sunday at midnight, or Sunday at 11:59 p.m. Sunday, June 24th. So go get your copy as soon as possible before the price jumps back up. All right. Thanks, guys. I will see you this time next week. Until then, stay badass, stay creative, stay indie, keep creating, and I will talk to you guys soon. Mwah. Bye.